All right, welcome everyone. Today, we're diving into a situation that has probably made every single one of us obsessively refresh our email inboxes at some point, tracking down a pending Capital One credit card application. Whether you're just starting out and trying to build your credit with a secured card, or you're dreaming of those premium travel rewards for a big upcoming vacation, waiting for that final decision can literally feel like a lifetime. So let's learn how to take control of this process. Have you ever hit submit on a credit card application and been left wondering what happens next? You know the feeling. You hand over all your sensitive financial information, the little loading screen spins, and then nothing. Well, stay tuned because in this explainer, you are going to learn everything you need to know about checking your Capital One status, and hopefully will cure a bit of that post-application anxiety. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. First, an intro to Capital One applications. Second, how to check your status. Third, troubleshooting application status issues. Fourth, understanding your application status. Fifth, tips for future credit applications. And finally, a conclusion and helpful resources. Starting us off with Section 1, Intro to Capital One applications and what happens right after you apply. So, knowing your application status isn't just about satisfying your curiosity, right? It's actually absolutely crucial for your immediate financial planning. Applying triggers a hard pull on your credit report, so you really need to know the outcome before making your next financial move. Let's look at the timeline. If you apply online, you might get an incredibly fast, instant decision in just 60 seconds. But if the system needs a bit more info, you go into pending status. Now, if that happens, you'll usually get a written response within 7 to 10 days. And if you're approved, you can expect that shiny new card in the mail within 7 to 10 business days. Moving right along to Section 2, how to check your status using 3 different methods. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it breaks down your options. If you're stuck in that 7 to 10 day waiting window, you don't have to just sit by the mailbox. But note, you cannot check your status by walking into a physical Capital One branch or cafe. It's an entirely digital process. You've got 3 remote options, mainly based on speed. Online is instant. You just need the last 4 digits of your social security number, your date of birth, and your zip code. The automated phone system is also instant, but that one requires your full 9-digit SSN. Lastly, doing it by mail is feasible, but as you'd guessed, it's much slower. Let's take a closer look at the fastest routes. If you're going the online route, the process is beautifully straightforward. Step 1, visit the Capital One Application Center website. Step 2, enter the last 4 digits of your SSN, your date of birth, and your zip code. Quick pro tip here. Make sure your zip code perfectly matches the physical address on your application. No P.O. boxes. And step 3, simply click Sign In to view your status. This portal is actually great because you can also securely upload any extra documents they might be asking for. Now, if you prefer the phone or maybe you're just on the go, here is the golden number, 1-800-903-9177. This is their 24/7 automated system. You just wait for the menu, press 3, and make sure you have your full 9-digit social security number ready to punch in. The great thing is it reads real-time data straight from their underwriting database. Okay, jumping into Section 3, troubleshooting application status issues and overcoming those pesky roadblocks. Sometimes an application just doesn't get a quick yes or no. If you find yourself stuck on pending, it's usually because of one of 4 common culprits. First off, simple typos. Think about it. Accidentally swapping a single number in your SSN can jam up the whole thing. Second, strict Know Your Customer or KYC regulations might mean they just need a quick photo of your ID to prove you are who you say you are. Third, if you froze your credit for security reasons, they literally can't access your file until you unfreeze it. And finally, general fraud prevention flags can temporarily pause your app for a manual review. And listen, while you're anxiously checking your inbox for updates, you absolutely must stay vigilant against phishing scams. Fraudsters love targeting people who are waiting for credit cards. Just remember, legitimate emails from Capital One will always come from an @capitalone.com domain. They'll direct you to secure, verified sites, and they'll use your full legal name. Scammers, on the other hand, use high-pressure, urgent threats of immediate account closure, or they'll just straight up ask you to reply with your SSN over email. Never, ever do that. Moving into Section 4, understanding your application status so we can finally decode their decision. Once the system or an actual underwriter finishes looking at your file, your status updates. If it says approved, well, congratulations. You can expect your physical card in 7 to 10 business days. But if it says pending or under review, take a breath. This is not a denial. The issuer simply needs more time, sometimes 14 to 30 days to complete a manual review, or wait for you to upload some extra ID. But what if the status actually says denied? Well, you still have a secret weapon up your sleeve: reconsideration. Basically, this means calling customer service within 30 days of your denial to request a second manual review. Now, when you call, be exceptionally polite and have your reference number ready to go. Effective communication goes a long way with these agents. Reconsideration often works if you can prove your profile is actually better than it looked on paper. Like maybe you can show a recent raise, prove you just paid off a chunk of debt, or simply correct a typo from the initial application.
All right, Section 5, tips for future credit applications and setting yourself up for success.
So the crucial point is, if reconsideration doesn't work out, it's really not the end of the world. It's just a temporary roadblock. Here is your comeback plan. First, always review the legally required adverse action notice they mail you. It tells you exactly why you were denied. Check annualcreditreport.com to fix any random errors and work on lowering your overall debt-to-income ratio. You'll want to wait about 3 to 6 months before reapplying so you don't stack up too many hard inquiries. And hey, if credit history is the main issue, consider strategically pivoting to apply for a card tailored for building credit, like a secured or student card. Finally, Section 6, conclusion and helpful resources. Let's look at your next steps. And this brilliantly illustrates that applying for credit really is a journey, and knowing how to navigate the wait gives you a massive advantage. You can stay proactive even when you aren't actively applying for anything. Capital One offers a great free tool called CreditWise to monitor your score without hurting it. Combine that with your free reports from annualcreditreport.com, and you'll never fly blind when you finally hit that submit button again. Now, before we wrap up, I need to remind you that this explainer video is for informational purposes only and should not be considered financial advice. Please consult with a financial advisor for advice specific to your financial needs. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really hope this explainer has completely demystified the whole application status process for you. Like and subscribe for more practical tips on navigating personal finance and credit options. And before you go, I want to leave you with one final question to answer down in the comments. Now that you know how to track your applications like a total pro, what financial tool or credit goal do you plan to conquer next? Let me know, and I'll see you in the next explainer.